But yeah, you'll want to make sure that what's on your credit report is actual information. Again, I'll get to that in a second. Creditors they want to see you exercising discipline, paying off a balance. This is paying off the balance each month is the best thing that you can possibly do if you're going to carry if you don't have to carry a balance. If you're carrying a balance, try to keep it under 50% of the available credit. Naturally, the lower the better. I hope I don't need to point this out, but if it's under 50% of say that you have a credit card that you've got a $5,000 limit on, if you keep it under $2,500, it'll actually add points to your score. If you keep it under 30%, it'll add even more. Okay, now, yes, go ahead.
I don't know why I believe this, but let's say you have a huge credit card, like $10,000.
Yes.
But you don't use it. Isn't that a liability, though, that you're entering, that you still have all the steps you could be entering into? Somewhere I thought I heard that you have too much available credit.
I don't personally believe that.
Okay.
The more that you have available that you're not using is you exercising discipline. I've seen hundreds of thousands, if not a million, credit bureaus over the years. I've never seen anybody ever being turned down because they had access to money that they were not using. Okay, I can't imagine that. So no, that's a guess, but it's a very educated guess.
Okay.
So try to keep it under 50%. If you can't pay it out monthly, try to keep it under 50%. If you can, keep it under 30%. And again, work towards that goal of paying it off monthly, because there is such thing as what they call credit float. And that's free money, free use of somebody else's money for 30 days, okay? And when you're paying your credit card off at the end of every month when it's due, you pay 0 interest. I don't care what the credit card says, it's 25%. If you pay it off every month, you still are paying 0 interest, period. Closing an account that is not in use could actually lower your credit scores, and that kind of goes back into what you just said, okay? Some people think, you know what, I went to the annual credit report, I ran my credit bureau, I see that I've got all these charge cards out there that I'm not using anymore. When I paid them off, I put them through the blender, and geez, I need to shut all these accounts down, just in case. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm saying make sure that you close down so that if you ever were a victim of identity theft, that they wouldn't be able to, whoever might not get to those things. But at the same time, you want to keep open credit out there because it actually does feed your score. And you want to keep things. By how much? By keeping things open. Again, it would be a guess, probably 30 points. If you closed all of your accounts down and left only the ones out there that were in use, it could knock 50 points off your credit bureau. So just be careful. Go ahead.
Well, there's one thing I wanted to add that you were talking about earlier, and forgive me if you're going to get to this, but if you had the same individuals, if you had 2 individuals that were identical in all aspects of their credit, and one owed $5,000 and one owed $2,000, the person who owed $5,000 could have a higher score than the person who owed $2,000 based on the available credit. If the person who owed $2,000 has a limit of $2,000, they're at their limit, their score is going to be lower than someone who owes $5,000 that has $10,000 available. So that's the thing to keep in mind. And there is an epitome, there's like a perfect scenario with the credit bureaus as to how to have the best scores.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay, well, I won't jump ahead with that, but I just wanted to point that out because with these, some people would think the more debt you have, the lower your score is. That's what I used to think. But what I came to find out is if you have a lot available, even if you owe a lot, your score is still going to be higher than somebody who owes less but doesn't have a lot available because of this very thing, the amounts that you owe, the percentages.
Now again, the moral of the story is don't keep charging things hoping to increase your credit score. Credit is necessary today. It's a necessary evil. We have to deal with it, but at the same time, we want to do things the way that the Lord wants us to do them, biblically, and that's to be out of debt. We shouldn't be in debt. Okay, so how does your score measure up? Say that you got somebody, and this is, if this was up like a farming community, and Does anybody know any farmers? Just live off the land and, okay. Farmers I found, because we do live in a farming community, some of them are just like, hey, I don't want anything to do with credit, I'm never gonna credit, I don't want to borrow any money, I don't have a need for credit, so I'm just gonna kind of buck the system and I'm not gonna deal with it because I don't need them. I don't need them. So the problem is that no credit equals, no score equals bad credit, okay? Because you will be defaulted on things that don't have anything to do with how you're gonna pay them back. Your automobile and your homeowner's insurance are things that you can get that don't have anything to do with credit, yet they're calculated and based on what your score is. If you don't have a credit score, you'll be defaulted to a score that is less than prime for risk purposes, and that will cost you money. Whether we like it or not, it's here to stay. The credit score is here to stay. Your auto and homeowner's insurance will likely be more expensive whether you have loans or not. I'm going to get to more on that right here, okay? Homeowners insurance, is everybody familiar with them? They're a big outfit in Toledo, okay? I realize you can't see this, if you screen up there, we might be able to. But essentially, there's two policies here, and they're both from the same company. They're both from homeowners insurance. They're for, what I did actually is I talked to my insurance agent, who I'm a good friend of, know him very, very well, and I said, will you do me a favor? Put together two policies. Make them whatever you want. Put together two policies. One, identical coverages across the board, deductibles, everything. One with the best, the 750 plus credit rating, and one with just an entry level credit rating, okay? Not bad, but just that acceptable rating, down in that like 620 range, okay? And then send me the two policies, because you can have insurance companies bid and quote things, right, if you're shopping insurance. Send them to me, and let me take a look at them. Well, this is what I found. Anybody have any idea how much they could possibly be different?
$100.
Okay. Okay, two policies written by the same insurance company with identical coverages, vastly different premiums. Okay, here's your high credit score, here's your low credit score. I know you can't see this, but there's little asterisks down there on the bottom and one over here as well. I know you can't read that, but that's where it says what the premium is. This is blown up, okay? Superior credit score. And again, if you could read the whole insurance form there, you could see that everything was identical. 460 was the yearly premium, all right? Low score?
Oh, wow.
Same house, same individual, same insurance company, same age, same everything. The only thing that was different is a basic and a 643, and the other one doesn't actually say, but it's above 7. It says superior, but it doesn't have, see it, that says X643. That's what score it was based on. Now, insurance companies use an internal calculator to assess risk, but it is very similar guidelines to a credit bureau. Okay, they're not identical, but it's an internal guideline, and it's very similar to a credit bureau. And by the way, when they do your policies, they look at your credit score, and they rated you based on that. And usually your policy will tell you where you rank. But they don't want to go overboard on it and like blow it out of proportion. That's why it's down in these little boxes at the bottom that say insurance score and then basic, which isn't offensive, I don't think, if you didn't know. But $460 versus almost $1,800. So even if you're not embracing the credit scores and exercising credit, they affect a lot more than you think. So just be careful. Good news, some guy stole my identity online. Now he's settled with my bad credit rating. So we get your free credit report. You're entitled to one report per year, free of charge, for each of the 3 reporting bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Go there, get them, check them out. If you don't understand them,
Yeah.
Don't throw them away.
Oh.
Find somebody that does. Gotta go through them with you. They're pretty, once you get.
Use it as scratch paper for your coupons.
When you're done with it, look at that, that's fine. Annualcreditreport.com is the only authorized source for free annual credit reports, so don't forget them. Everybody else is going to charge you, even if they give you your credit report for free, it's gonna be a mistake. Your credit score is not part of your free credit report, you know that, and beware. Any free credit report offers on the internet are not free. You have to sign up for a trial offer that is often hard to cancel. Identity theft protection, an insurance policy that gives you money in the event that you have your ID stolen, but it doesn't do anything to help you prevent or to fix the identity theft. Okay? And I've never ever seen anybody that's been able to collect off of one of these policies, but there is identity theft protection out there. They pay up to $25,000 if your identity is stolen and you have debts on your credit that are not actually yours. 8, here's another thing. 8 out of 10 credit reports contain errors. Okay? So most of them. You got it.
Yeah, but yours is actually much worse than you think it is.
You need to start opening those bills that they send you every month.
3 in 10 show credit accounts as open despite having been closed by the consumer. Now let me tell you something you probably already know. If you're paying your bills as agreed and everything's going well for you and everything else, the chances of good things being reported to your credit bureau are fair, better than average, but not absolute. Okay? You go behind in something, I'll promise you it's going to hit. And it's going to be hard to get in touch with somebody to take it off. So, I think some people think, hey, if I get a late pay or something like that, I'll just dispute it and I'll get it removed. Well, believe me, it is catastrophic trying to get that stuff removed. One in four credit reports have errors significant enough to impact a borrower's ability to obtain a home loan.